Good morning, good morning, good morning, and happy Thursday. We call it Friday Eve. Oh my goodness, I tell you, these weeks are just flying by. And again, August is not going out quietly. This is August 29th. Yes, it is. And oh my goodness, yesterday was hot. Yesterday was hot. 95 felt like 100. Today it's supposed to be starting the trend going down, but when I walked out of my front door, I really stepped into a sauna. When I stepped outside, it's very humid this morning. But you know what? This is the day that the Lord has made. I'm going to rejoice and I'm going to be glad in it. I come out earlier so I can kind of beat the real heat later on, because it takes me about an hour and 15 minutes to walk 10,000 steps. So I'm asking you just to do 1,000 with me this morning, or wherever you are. Even if you're in Kenya and Africa, it might be the afternoon, but go ahead and get that at least 1,000 steps in. Oh my goodness. I got a gem nugget for you this morning. I am always inspired by the devotionals in our daily bread. If you don't get the daily bread, our daily bread, I would suggest that you get it, because there's so many inspirational things and things that are relative to our present time. Well, today the title is God of Justice. God of Justice. Now, you know, we always think about God, and He's a God of love. He's a God of mercy. He's a faithful God, but He's also a God of justice. And you know, I'm going to title my gem nugget God's Karma. God's karma. Y'all know, y'all heard that word karma. We say that's karma when, you know, things that go around come back around. You know, when people, you see situations where people are treated unjustly. Some people treat other people unfairly, and then it comes back around to that person that did the injustice, and we call that's karma. That's payback. That's payback for what you did to somebody else. But you don't want to deal with God's karma. You don't want to deal with God's karma. In the devotional today, back in the book of Amos, Amos was a prophet, but God had to send Amos to warn the people, because even after God had delivered the children of Israel from, you know, slavery and oppression and injustice, they must have had some spiritual amnesia, and they started being unjust back to their own people. Look at some of the stuff that was happening back in Amos 2. It says they sell the innocent for silver and the needy for a pair of sandals. They trample on the heads of the poor as on the dust of the ground, and deny justice to the oppressed. I mean, father and son use the same girl, oh my goodness, and so profane my holy name. They lie down beside every altar on garments taken in pledge. In the house their God, they drank wine taken as fines. Oh my gosh, they were going crazy. And then Amos reminded, yet I destroyed the Amorites before them. I brought them out of Egypt, and I led them for 40 years. I led you 40 years in the wilderness to give you the land of the Amorites. And but then he says, but what he told them to do to kind of remedy this, in Amos 5:14, he said, seek good and not evil, that you may live. You need to turn this around. You need to start being just to people. You should not be doing evil to people, especially since I was just to you and brought you out. Now you turn around and do the same thing. So Amos, later on again, he says, seek good, not evil, that you may live. Did you hear that part? You need to be just to people so that you will live. You know, because like I say, you don't want to deal with God's karma. You don't want to deal with his justice. Because see, he really hasn't treated us like he could. You know, Amos goes on a little further in chapter 5, 5:24. And this was a verse that Dr. Martin Luther King loved to quote. But let justice run down as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. And not just God's justice and righteousness towards us. We need to let justice towards each other to run down as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. Because if not, we might not make it out of here. I'm just saying. That's why he said earlier, seek good, not evil, that you may live. Let me break it down a little bit more. You know, there's a story in Matthew 18:21 through 35. And Peter starts it out by asking, how many times should I forgive my brother? And 70 times 7. But Jesus told this story. There was a man that owed a man that was a debtor. He owed the man 500 pieces of silver, which was equivalent to about $1 million. And the one that he owed it to said, oh, you know what, I'm going to throw you in jail because you can't pay me, because they would throw you in jail and take your children and everything. But the man got on his knees. He said, please, 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 forgive me, forgive me. Please don't do this to me. Don't throw me in jail. Don't throw me in jail. And so the man forgave him. But do you know that same man turned around and there was someone, the one that owed $1 million, somebody owed him 1,050 pieces of silver, which was equivalent to $1,000. Wait a minute. Let's look at the difference there. $1 million versus 1,000. But the man said, I owe you 1,000. And instead of the man that was forgiven for $1 million, forgive the man that owed 1,000, he said, oh, I'm going to throw you in jail. I want my money now. And had him thrown in. But there was some people watching. Just like God sees everything. He sees the injustice. But there was some certain, they didn't like that thing. And when they saw what that man did to the one that owed the less, they went to the original master and said, you know what that guy did that owed you $1 million? Somebody owed him 1,000. And he threw him in jail. Oh my God. It made that master mad. And he went to that one where he had previously forgiven and threw him in jail and made him stay until he paid the $1 million. See, you don't want that kind of karma. You don't want that kind of karma. So that's why the verse says, seek good, not evil, that you may live. It's just doing unto others as you have others to do unto you, and that God would do unto you. If he has showed you mercy and he showed you grace and he's been just with you, you got to do it back to your fellow man. That's all the same. But I don't want to deal with God's karma. And like it says here in Amos 5:24, let justice, let's be just among each other, but let justice run down as waters, and righteousness, it's doing right, as a mighty stream. See, again, God is a God of justice. But you don't want to deal with God's karma. You don't want to deal with his payback. Just saying. Just saying. Just remember what I said today. It's about God's karma. All right. It's Thursday, y'all. That means that my husband, Pastor James E. Gilmore Sr., is coming tonight with Life Study. It's your weekly Bible study. But we call it Life Study because it's just not enough to just read it and have a head knowledge. But we have to know more how to apply this word to our everyday life. So join him 7 p.m. Tonight on the Gem Nugget channel and Facebook Live. Subscribe to this Gem Nugget channel. We're at 21,000 subscribers. I love this count. I love the count. Counting up, counting up. So we thank God for this opportunity to go into all the world, teach y'all there. Love your comments. Love your comments. Please comment if this is helping you. If it's helping you walk more and move. If it's helping you. If it's inspiring you. If it's blessing you. If you're receiving some instruction that you found out something that you didn't know before, let me know. I love your comments. I love your comments. But until next time, don't forget God's karma.